Hello and welcome to the Chinksey Sports Presents, the Premier League show,
powered by chinkseyMEDIA.
And we are back again for episode 40, coming straight out of the newspaper for the final time this season. Check us out on all digital platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Podcasts. Now, without any further ado, we go straight into the first match of the last game week, which was the game between Fulham and Manchester City. Manchester City dismantled Marco Silva's kite-flying Fulham side with consummate ease to leave them on the brink of securing an unprecedented fourth consecutive Premier League title. After Croat defender Josko Gvardiol opened the scoring with the first of his 2 goals in the game, further goals from Phil Foden and the 96th minute Julian Alvarez penalty secured the 3 points for the citizens as they leapfrogged Arsenal into top spot ahead of the Gunners' tough trip to Old Trafford the following day. Following that was the game between Everton and Sheffield United, and that match ended 1-0 to the Toffees. A headed goal from Abdoulaye Doucouré after a cross from strike partner Dominic Calvert-Lewin was enough to hand informed Everton their 5th win with a clean sheet in their last 7 games, and consequently hand relegated Sheffield United their 6th defeat on the bounce and 7th defeat in 8 games, all winless, to compound a season of pure misery for Chris Wilder's beleaguered Blades boys. The next game was between West Ham United and Luton Town that ended 3-1 to the home side. West Ham United's outgoing manager David Moyes completed the double over Luton by all but relegating Rob Edwards' Bedfordshire outfit. Luton, who despite taking a lead through on-loan Arsenal midfielder Albert Boyo Sambi Lokonga, succumbed to a 3-1 defeat after second-half goals from James Ward-Prowse, Thomas Souček and young academy graduate George Urphy, aged 19. The next game was between Bournemouth and Brentford that ended 2-1 to the away side Brentford, in a match which was goalless up until the dying embers of the game. Brentford eventually extinguished Bournemouth and edged them out after taking the lead as late as the 86th minute through their Cameroonian forward Brian Bremo, who was set up by strike partner Yohan Wissa. 4 minutes later, a Dominic Solanke headed equaliser looked to have shared the spoils with his 19th Premier League goal for Iraiola's side. However, in the 95th minute, Bremo turned provider for the aforementioned Wissa, who snatched a victory for the away side with the most thunderous of strikes from an acute angle. The next fixture was at Molineux in the game between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Crystal Palace that ended 3-1 to Palace. Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace side continued their phenomenal recent run of form with an excellent, as it were, emphatic a victory against an ailing Wolves side. Palace, who were pegged back to 2-1 by Wolves striker Mateus Cunha, had raced into a 2-goal lead through their informed attacking duo Michael Olise and Jean-Philippe Mateta. A 73rd minute goal from the Eagles' other star, Ebere Eze, put the game beyond doubt for Palace as they won their 5th game in their last 6 unbeaten matches. So informed Palace continue their winning form. The next game was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it was also a correct score for me. In the game between Tottenham Hotspur and Burnley, it ended 2-1 to Spurs. Tottenham arrested a wretched run of 4 successive defeats with a late, albeit hard-fought victory over Vincent Kompany's Burnley, which consequently relegated them back to the Championship. After Jakob Brun-Larsen had given the Clarets hope by opening the scoring in the 25th minute, it took goals from defenders Pedro Porro and Mickey van der Ven, operating as a left fullback in this match, to overcome a stingy Burnley side fighting for their lives, albeit to no avail. Following that game was the game at St James's Park between Newcastle United and Brighton Hove Albion that ended 1 apiece. Brighton followed up their dramatic late victory over Aston Villa the previous week by holding Europa League chasing Newcastle United to a 1-1 draw at St James's Park. Outgoing Seagulls boss Roberto De Zerbi saw his side take the lead after Joel Veltman steered in a Danny Welbeck flick-on after a corner. However, a Sean Longstaff equaliser in the first half added time ensured the Geordies went into the break at 1 apiece, which also happened to be the final scoreline. Right, the 5:30 kickoff at the City Ground in a match between Nottingham Forest and Chelsea ended 3-2 to the Blues. Chelsea, who took the lead after Cole Palmer's defence-splitting pass, culminated with a clinical finish by Mykhailo Mudryk, secured their third Premier League victory in a row after a hard-fought victory against relegation-threatened Nottingham Forest at the City Ground. After 2 Forest goals from Willy Boly and former Chelsea player Callum Hudson-Odoi, who had earlier hit the crossbar with a delicious effort, it looked like Chelsea were going to lose their 12th league game of the season. However, 2 late goals from forgotten man Raheem Sterling, who came on as a sub, and Nicholas Jackson, who headed in a cross from the returning Reece James, sealed the 3 points for Maurizio Pochettino's side, whose strong end to the season should see them cement a top 6 place and a place in the Europa League, a competition that they have won twice previously. In the game between Manchester United and Arsenal, which was a Sunday game, last Sunday in fact, Arsenal kept the pressure on Manchester City with a professional, if not perfect, victory over the red half of a Manchester side. United, after an informed Arsenal forward, Leandro Trossard scored the game's solitary goal. The victory was only Arsenal's 5th in the Premier League era, which is a very remarkable stat. Okay, Monday's fixture between Aston Villa and Liverpool ended 3 apiece. Liverpool took the lead after just 2 minutes following a calamitously catastrophic attempt of a catch from Villa villain Emiliano Martinez. Despite an equaliser through Yuri Tielemans, some 10 minutes later, they found themselves 3-1 down all the way up until the 85th minute through goals from Liverpool's Cody Gakpo and Jarell Quansah. With Villa trailing 3-1 with just 10 minutes of normal time remaining, Villa boss Unai Emery introduced young Colombian striker John Duran, who required just 3 minutes to bag himself a brace to earn his side an invaluable point, which all but secured his side a top 4 finish. Okay, into the games in hand, which starting from Tuesday's game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium between Tottenham and Manchester City, ended 2-0 to City. An Erling Haaland, an Erling Haaland brace took Manchester City top of the league and within touching distance of a 4th successive Premier League title win, needing just a further victory at home to an off-colour West Ham side who have just 1 win in their last 7 in all competitions. Prior to the match, Arsenal fans would have been banking on Spurs or praying for Spurs to get something from City, who had previously not even scored, let alone won at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the league, of course. But the game will forever be remembered for Heung-min Son's pivotal one-on-one miss after he was thwarted by Stefan Ortega, who had earlier replaced the injured Ederson in a City goal. On Wednesday's fixture, In the game between Brighton Hove Albion and Chelsea, it ended 2-1 to the Blues. Chelsea secured their fourth successive victory in the previous 4 league games and their third victory of the season over Brighton all this season. After Brighton had completed the double over them last season. Goals from Cole Palmer, who bagged his 22nd Premier League goal of the season, and Christopher Cuckoo. Yeah, it was on Wednesday. I was just double checking, making sure, giving the accurate information, were enough to secure, or should I say survive, a late scare after Brighton veteran Danny Welbeck's 97th minute goal proved to be a mere consolation in the end. Right, the last of Wednesday's games was in the game between Manchester United and Newcastle. And that result ended 3-2 to Manchester United. United ended a horrendous 3-game winless run, which had included disappointing defeats to London sides Crystal Palace 4-0 and Arsenal 1-0 at home, by ousting Europa League qualification rivals Newcastle United 3-2. After Anthony Gordon had cancelled out Kobbie Mainoo's 31st minute opener, goals from Amad Diallo, who grabbed his first Premier League goal for the club, and Rasmus Højlund were enough to secure the 3 points for United, despite teenage left-back Lewis Hall grabbing a late consolation in the second minute of added time, 92nd minute. Okay, so obviously all the fixtures and results have been completed for today and this season and this week. Therefore, I'm just going to run through my predictions and the consequent results for the last game week of the season, starting at Anfield. Right, in the game between Liverpool and Wolves, my prediction was 3-0 to Liverpool. It ended 2-0 to Liverpool. In the game at Bramall Lane between Sheffield United and Tottenham, my prediction was 3-1 to Tottenham. The game ended 3-0 to Tottenham. In a match at Kenilworth Road between Luton Town and Fulham, my prediction was 3-1 to Fulham. It ended 4-2 to Fulham. In the match at the Amex Stadium between Brighton Hove Albion and Manchester United, my prediction was 3-1 to Brighton, and Manchester United won that 2-0. In the match at the Etihad between Manchester City and West Ham United, my prediction was 5-0 to Man City. It ended 3-1 to Man City. In the match at the Emirates between Arsenal and Everton, my prediction was 3-0 to Arsenal. The result was 2-1 to Arsenal. In the match at the G-Tech Stadium between Brentford and Newcastle, my prediction was 2-1 to Newcastle. The result was 4-2 to Newcastle. In a match at Selhurst Park between Crystal Palace and Aston Villa, my prediction was 3-1 to Crystal Palace. The result was 5-0 to Palace. In the match at Turf Moor between Burnley and Nottingham Forest, my prediction was 1-1. The result ended 2-1 to Nottingham Forest. And last but not least, in the match between Chelsea and Bournemouth, my prediction was 2-0 to Chelsea. The result was 2-1 to the Blues. So as a matter of fact, it looked like I would have got, if I'm not wrong, 8 results correct. Correct, yeah. I would have got 8 results correct and 2 wrong. Anyway, my Premier League table predictions before the season were Arsenal to finish top, Manchester City to finish second, Liverpool to finish third, Manchester United to finish fourth, Chelsea to finish fifth, Newcastle United to finish sixth, Tottenham Hotspurs to finish seventh, Aston Villa to finish eighth, Brighton to finish ninth, Crystal Palace to finish 10th, West Ham United to finish 11th, Brentford to finish 12th, Wolverhampton Wanderers to finish 13th, Everton to finish 14th, Nottingham Forest to finish 15th, Fulham to finish 16th, Burnley to finish 17th, Bournemouth to finish 18th, Sheffield United to finish 19th, and Luton Town to finish 20th. That was before the season started. However, my predictions after 10 games changed to Arsenal to finish top, Man City to finish second, Liverpool to finish third, Tottenham to finish fourth, Newcastle to finish fifth, Aston Villa to finish sixth, Brighton to finish seventh, Manchester United to finish eighth. Got that one right. West Ham to finish 9th. Got that one right. Chelsea to finish 10th. Brentford to finish 11th. Crystal Palace to finish 12th. Wolves to finish 13th. Fulham to finish 14th. Nottingham Forest to finish 15th. Everton to finish 16th. Bournemouth to finish 17th. Burnley to finish 18th. Luton to finish 19th, and Sheffield United to finish 20th. Got that one right too. Whew. All right. So that's the end of that season, this season. The end of the first series of the Chinksey Sports Presents, the Premier League show. Well, as this was the last episode of the season, feel free to check us out on all digital platforms. Check us out on the Chinksey Sports Presents the Premier League Show podcast playlist, where you can catch up and relive all of the previous episodes. You can also find us everywhere, because we are everywhere. And we'll be back again and better than ever to read straight out another newspaper next season. But in the meantime, there'll be other podcasts over the summer. Stay tuned.